Good afternoon, YouTube. My name is Ernest, and today I will be taking you coding an algorithm in Java. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So what I will be doing today is it's a coding challenge, pretty much just messing with code, and I just like to program when I'm not doing anything. So all right, so I thought of practicing this algorithm. Why not? So let's go ahead and see what this function will do. So this method will print we will reverse. This method will reverse an array of numbers. Okay, so for example, if this method will reverse an array of numbers, for example, if we have an array of numbers, maybe starting from 1 up to 10, and our challenge is to write a method that actually prints that array in reverse. Okay, so let's go do this. So what we have to do is write a method, static void, let's call it reverse array. Okay, reverse array ends, and then here this array will this array takes in well, not this array, this method actually takes in an array of integers. Okay, so let's just call it array, right? And then let's write this function. So our plan here is to pass the array as an argument and then loop through the array. So static void what am I doing here? Okay, so the plan here is to pass in this array. I feel like I'm repeating myself. To pass in this array and then print out the reverse of that array. So I'm thinking of looping through that array. Okay, say for loop ends. Okay, so and then the for loop, and okay, since we want to reverse the array, I'm thinking of int I is equal to array as an argument, the length -1. Okay, so that way it starts looping from the top of the array. Okay, and then we do I is greater than 0 for sure, and then we decrement I minus. I will explain later what that block of code means. So, and then in here, in the for loop, inside for loop, we want to exchange. So we do int other, okay, is equal to array the length -1. Okay, so we want to put the length of the array, the content length of the array. We want to put that into other, store into other integer. Okay, and then after that we go to int temp. Temp stands for temporary, just a temporary integer or like a variable that will hold an integer, and then we do array of I. Okay, so if you know what is going on, for sure, array of well, the integer of I is equal to, if you look here, the integer of I is assigned to array the length minus 1. This array here, the length of this array minus 1 is assigned is stored into I. So this array of I, we're storing it into temp. Let's move forward. So we do array. Now we're getting that array of I. That is it's not empty, but we are overriding that. We are assigning something into that index, because we assigned the content at that index array of I to temp, int temp. So whatever that was in this at this position is assigned, is stored temporarily in a temp variable. Now we are getting array of I. We're assigning some value in there. So array of I is equal to array of other. Okay, array of other, and then after that, it's supposed to be capital R. Okay, so array of other, and after that we want to get array of other, and then assign temp to array of other. Yes, assign temp to array of other. Sorry about that. So array of other is equal to temp, and then what we want to do is print the result to the console. Okay, now we just have to do system. This is considered bad practicing, bad programming practicing. What we have to do is create another function that handles printing something to the console. So that is considered good practicing, good programming practicing. So system.out.print ln. What we want to print here is we want to print I plus, this is just a, let's say this is just formatting so that we know exactly what's going on, and then array of other. Array of other. Okay, so static void main. This is our main method here that will execute when we call this this function here. Let's go ahead and create an array. So int excuse me, int numbers. We instantiating, or we, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have an array of numbers there, and then calling the method. Let's call reverse array. Now this guy, this method takes in an array, so passing numbers. Okay, let me explain what is going on here. So this function actually takes in an array and then reverses all the content in that array, starting from the last one. It will make the last one to be the first. So int I is equal to array the length minus 1. So this block of code here, if you're an experienced developer, you obviously have seen the for loops that start from 0 and then it loops all the way to the length of the array, and then it increments. Now this is kind of different. So if taking a for loop, we say int I is equal to array the length, which means if this array here, which we are passing in this this array down here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, it says I is equal to array the length minus 1. So why did I have to say, why did I have to code array the length minus 1? Because the array itself starts counting from 0. So for example, we have 1 up to 9. The content of this is 1 up to 9, right? And the array starts counting at 0. So the actual length of this array is actually 8. So because it is counting at 0, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and the content of this is actually 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, or 9. So we are tricked as programmers what the actual content of the array and what it looks like the length of an array is. So that's why int I is equal to array dot length minus 1. Okay, so if you leave out minus 1, it will give out of bound exception. So, and if you are working in a production environment, you have to make sure that you minimize, if at all, if you can, just don't, if you know something will give you an exception, you have to avoid it, or find a solution to it. So we are assigning int to array the length minus 1, and then after that we are going I is greater than 0. So this block of code, it will result to true, because we say I is equal to array the length minus 1 is actually greater than 0. Yes, and then if it is greater than 0, if the block of code results to true, then we want to decrement it. So I minus. So what will happen? It will go through the length of an array, which is 8. Okay, and what content is stored at that location is 9. So it will get 9 and then put it into I, and then it moves forward. It's like, is 9 greater than 0? Yes, decrement 9. So and then it decrements to location 7. So what's stored at this location 7 is 8, and then need to ask itself, is 8 greater than 0? Yes, and then decrements it. And then after it decrements, it goes executes all the code down here, and then it goes back and it loops. It got a for loop. Okay, so we're saying int other is equal to array the length minus 1. So we are actually storing, let's say, we are actually storing 8. So the length of this array here is 8. So what content is stored at location 8 is 9. So we're putting 9 into other, because we say array the length minus 1. We're putting 9 into other variable. And then we move forward to say int temporary temp is equal to array of I. If we remember very clearly, int I is equal to array the length. So we array the length minus 1. We have assigned the length, the length of numbers array, which is the length of it is actually 8. The content stored on location 8 is 9. We have assigned 9 to an I. So we say array of I is equal to array of other. Now, or we say int temp is equal to array of I. So we're actually getting 9 and storing it into temp. Now let me take you a little bit back. We said array.length minus 1, which is 9. We're storing it into other, and then now we're saying array of I is equal to temp, which means we are storing 9 into temp as well. So we have array.length and then array of I. Now this location, we still have the content at I. Okay, so if I is equal to array.length minus 1, which is 8, and content stored on that is 9, we still have 9 stored in here. But in this next line, we are overriding. So array of I, which is 9, is equal to array of other. If you go back step here, you say int other is equal to array.length, which is we have 9. So we are assigning the content that was at array of I, that is 9, we are assigning another 9 to that content. So now we have 9, 9, 9, and then we say array other is equal to temp. Okay, so now we're getting 9 that is stored into other array at that index. Okay, so array of other, that is 9, so which means array of whoa, it's not 9 actually, it's equal to, let me do this because I'm getting confused. So other, which is 8. Okay, index 8, index 8. All right, and then here let's say index 8. All right, and then here let me say index 8. Int other array.length minus 1, for sure it's 8. Content stored there is 9, and then array other is equal to temp. So index 8. Index 8. Okay, so after this, we're actually putting array of other is equal to temp, and then we are printing index I. We're printing I, which is 8, or which is 9, plus array of other. So array of other, what's there at that index is equal to 9. So let me just go and run this so you know what is going on. Okay, so at that I is equal to 8, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The actual index of this array is 8, because the array starts counting from 0. So 8 is equal to 9. So what is stored at that location in 8 is actually 9. So we have 9 here, and then it loops back. It comes back here. It decrements. Now I is equal to 7, because we've looped one time. It goes back. Say I is equal to array.length minus 1. Now we've decremented to 8, and then we do the same. So I is I greater than 0? Yes. And then go execute other int other is equal to array.length minus 1, which is 8, and then int temp is equal to array of I, which is temp is array of I, which is 8, and then array 7 actually, not 8, because we decremented it. 7, and then it goes array of other temp. It just keeps on exchanging. So we're printing that. I don't know if it makes sense, but I'm going over time limit. So any questions or you have comments, please leave in the comment section area, and I will appreciate if you subscribe to watch out for other videos. Thank you so much for watching.